Hello and welcome on this Sunday stream. I'm Irish Jack, and today we are doing some more Blender, like we'll probably be doing every week. Kai-san's in the chat. Hello, Kai-san. How are you doing today? What's life like in Poland? Hopefully, staying safe and keeping away from people. Right. What we're going to do today is gotten a couple of questions during the week from Outmind and one from Berglamir, and we're going to cover those, and then we're going to just do some other stuff that I missed last week. So we will get started. So first question I will go for is from Outmind, which is about transitioning between materials. So one object, let's get it back here, one object, a planet, and not switching it out, but just the materials itself changing as the animation goes on. So in the beginning of time, Earth is just a big ball of lava rock, and it cools into the planet we know today, and one day, hopefully far enough from now, it'll turn into this deserty, crappy landscape like that. I'll turn that off. Lava to grass and or land and sea, and from that to desert. Right. So what I will do is I'll show you what I did, and then I'll do it again. Right. So in this scene, here is our we can get rid of this, I think. Okay. Really, I've done it 3 times here, but if I show you how to do it from one object or from one material to another, you know how to do it for 3 materials, 1 to 2 to 3. Pretty much what I'm doing is it's just this. It's just a mix shader with the slider. This one, this material over here, say, is the water and land one, plugging in here, and down here is the desert one. And depending how much this factor is slid, it'll just transition between the two of them. And with pretty much everything in Blender, you can keyframe this stuff. So you keyframe 0, 0 with I, tap I, and it keyframes it, and then you go forward. That's why the timeline here, so you select your object and you select the shader, and then you see. So at this point, it's yellow, so it's been keyframed as the as this material. And between here and there, you see on the bottom down here, I pointed at the screen just there with my hand, but you can't see that. So and it just goes from one to the other, and that's it. And you can move those closer to make the transition faster. You can double them up to make it go from one to the other, back to the first, and back to the second. But really, this is all you need to know. So what we can do is, Berglamir's in the chats. Berglamir, how are you? How's your Sunday in Germany? In Deutschland? Too late. No, you're good. You're good. I'm just I was covering. I'll go back. What I'm doing is I'm just showing. Outmind asked a question about transitioning between materials. You want to have one object, but for whatever reason, actually, I couldn't think of a good example to do it on other than a planet. So in the beginning of time, Earth is. Let's go over here. Earth is just a big. You're not German. I thought you were German. Okay, you tell me what you are, and I'll apologize. Okay, I was so sure you were German. You're Austrian. No, you speak German, so you're either German or Austrian. Österreich? Bist du ein Österreich-Mann? Ja? Nein? Okay. Okay. Ich nicht verstehe. Okay. You're Austrian. Okay, great. Great. I've been to Austria. I've been to um, Vienna, and I spent a night on the side of. Okay, fair enough. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. I spent the night at the side of a motorway in Salzburg, one night, and it was very nice. Okay, Austrian, Österreich. I always think it sounds like ostrich, Österreich, Öster or Easter. Okay. Anyway, back to Blender. In the beginning of time, Earth was a floating ball of lava and crap, and then for whatever reason, it turned into water and green crap. Oh yeah, okay. And then it goes back and forward to a gigantic orange. Vienna, you're from Vienna, very nice. Um, Right, and then I was just going through how that actually works. And in the same way as you apply keyframes to objects for location, rotation, and scale, you can also do it within the node editor. So we select our object and we select the node that we are keyframing. Here you can see the keyframes that this node is applying to. So at this point it's at 0. We go to there and it jumps up to 1. So it's just you have one texture, one material. Here it's just the which one is it? Yeah, it's the earth one here. So a bunch of noise, blue and green, blah blah blah. I'm not the best at that kind of stuff. I can make it look all right, but not the best. But so you plug that into the top slots. Then I made like a crappy orange. I was going for a desert, like the far future apocalypse kind of desert world, but it looks like a big orange. Plug that into the bottom, and you're just sliding between them. Oh no, wait, that's the other one. Sorry, I'm down here somewhere. You're just sliding between them. So what we'll do is we'll just make a new object. Okay, right now I'm actually going to show you. I'm going to answer Berglamir's question that he's been waiting for all night. He said he was up all night, not able to sleep in preparation for this answer. So let's give it to him. His question is, here's the planets, and here is a little moon. Now, for whatever reason, before 1 billion years ago, let's say, Earth didn't have a moon, and one day it just materialized out of nowhere. So it wasn't there since the beginning of time, but one day it just popped in out of nowhere, and we want to replicate that in an animation. So let's say Earth had no atmosphere, like that, and when the moon arrived, then the atmosphere kicked in. So what we'll say is at this point here, the moon is going to appear. So I'm going to set a keyframe, I for keyframe, of this. We can either do it location or scale. I'm going to do scale, but it's the same idea for both. But before that exact day, the moon didn't exist, as we all know. So the exact frame before it, the moon didn't exist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click S for scale and 0 to make it infinitely small. I'm going to select I and scale that. So now it's there, you just can't see it. And it just pops into existence, and you can have the same thing again, you can have it pop back out. So set it for scale, and the next frame, scale 0, and it's gone. And then save that scale. So the moon came into existence around here, there. We get it, and then it disappears, and then we turn back into a desert planet, and then back and forward and back and forward. Okay, but, right, okay. You're going to ask me a question now that's going to completely throw me off. Hopefully not. Go for it. Hopefully I'm going to have your exact right answer that you're about to ask. as you're typing. You can do the same thing as well. So if I create another one, this is just how I do it. You know what I mean? I know you're talking about layers and stuff. It means every object will means eventually in my scene needs to be there from the beginning. Yes, pretty much. Yes. So what I do is, let's say, I have making an animation about a bunch of balls. Okay. There's a ball, and there's its child, and here's the villain. Right. The villain doesn't come into the plot till later on. So for the first bit of the animation, it's just these two, okay? And I could do it like this way as well. I could either do it with scale or location. Yeah, exactly. Yes, this is just how you have to do it. Everything needs to be in it. Maybe you already would have just figured it out if you had known that. But anyway, I for location down here, and then one day the villain appears. So everything needs to be in the set. It does, yeah. If you don't want to be seeing it in the scene, if you don't want it just hiding behind the whatever, you can scale it. You can just scale it down, make it tiny. But that is the way of doing it. I did look something up. There is a complicated way, but this is just straightforward. And if it's not in the camera view, it's not being rendered right now. Those Blender isn't worrying about the mother and father ball and the villain. This is an issue when I want to include fire and explosions. If you want to include fire and explosions, you can't just put that out of scaling is still a solution. Okay. As I said last week, I'm nowhere near professional, but I am lazy, is what I am. And if you need a job done quickly, you should ask a lazy man. So that's what we got today. I was gonna do a quick just how to do this turnaround thing, but maybe you already know that. I'll just do it quickly. If you have an object in the middle, your cube, and you want to show it off, I would add a. You could do it with anything. You could do it with an empty or with a. I thought the way is to work with layers. I think you can also do it in the graph editor. All right. Okay. Okay. Look, I'll look into that for next time. Oh, block creations. You're showing me up. You're making me look bad. Lazy is just another word for pragmatic. Okay, cool. Just for doing the turnaround thing, you can just a circle, click here, add a camera, make sure the camera is selected. Where is that camera? It is this one. This little green camera icon beside the camera means that that's the selected camera. So right now I'm looking through that one. Where is that thing gone? You can just angle it there and angle it like that. So that's on that kind of. We can zoom out a little bit with, if we lock camera to view and just zoom out there. And what we do is we have our camera selected, we shift click the circle and we parent it. We'll go back here. We can now we're keyframing this because this is parented to that. So we rotation. Let's make it 100 frames long. There. So bring that down to 100, and we just go rotate it 360. Up here in the top left, we can see what it's on, and Control locks that to a 5-degree increment. So now that's where it should be. Lock the rotation. I usually go one after, like this. And also, right now you'll see if I press play, it speeds up, goes fast, and then it kind of slows down towards the end, which maybe it's what you want, but ideally, what's the advantage of there's no advantage of yeah, it can be tracked to whatever. You can what can you track it to? Or you can compare it to yeah, a circle. That there's no advantage, just whatever. Maybe a circle might give you a better idea of the path of the thing itself, the movement of the camera, but whichever one. Um, as I was saying, yeah, so this slows into the speed and then slows down again at the end. If you select both the keyframes that you're going in between, right click, interpolation mode. So Bezier, you can see it starts slow and then it speeds up and then it slows down again. If you click linear, it's going to keep that a constant speed between 1 and 100, which makes it loop a lot easier. Like that. And then you look through there. But I'm sure probably all of you already knew that one. Okay, so that is which one answered? The material one. Did I even do that one? I'll do it on this sphere. So we're going to have our objects. Now I want this to transition from white to black, say. You know, it's make it as easy as possible. And jeez, my voice. We get a mix shader, pop it there, and the second material in the bottom. And we want it to go from white to now it's at white to red. It's at this because it's already at 50%. So we slide it back to 0 and that'll make it the top one. 1 will make it that one. And it's the very same as everything else we do with animation. Just have it on the timeline where you want it to be. Select your objects. Make sure this is selected. And at 1 second, or at 0 seconds, I on this, just I. And that saves it as a keyframe. And then we go to 100, or maybe even a bit before so we can actually see it. We slide this to 1, and I. And that's it. So you have two two materials transitioning from one to the other in your animation. So that's that one. And again, I usually keep material, like you can do this with image textures as well. You know, transition. It's fading really is what it is from one to the other. And yes, I'm sure you will do something a lot more complicated than one color to another. But that is that's that. Oh yeah, the music. I forgot to press the music button. There we go. Now the silences are a bit less awkward. Okay, that one. Make the object appear in the middle of a scene. Yes, I know it's not perfect burglar mirror, but I guess it's a solution. Right, I was going to do the next bit for Outmind, who is not in the chat, but he can watch it back if he needs to. Which is a loop-de-loop. Right. So we're going to open recent. What was it? Was it this one? Okay, nope, it was not that one. Don't save. Right, it was. I'll show you my Christmas project in a minute because I'm going to show you how to do the mouth moving animation. Stream. Not starting soon. Oh no, we're back up here. I know now. Boop. Stream 2. Loop de loop. Right. This is what Outmind wanted to be able to do today. Was to have something doing a loop de loop. And again, like, I think if you wanted to have your object going in a circle infinitely, you do what I did with the camera. You just parent it to a circle and you spin the circle and keyframe that. Put the interpolation as linear, and that's it. But if you want something flying by itself for a bit, you know, nothing got to do with the circle, and then start the loop-to-loop, you kind of have to do it a little bit manually. So what I have here is the plane goes, it does a loop-to-loop, and then it swings around the bigger one as well. And I even attached a camera to it so you can see it from that point of view. And I'm sure if you made an amazing city and landscape behind this, it would look a billion times better. But that is it for now. So what I'm gonna do is Holly's here. Holly doesn't even use Blender, but she's here to check us out today. Hope everything is well, Holly. Hope you're staying safe, COVID free. Right, so we're gonna do this one from scratch. So select everything and delete it. I'm gonna start just by making a simple plane and make it out of a cube. Scale the cube a little bit that way. And what we'll do is we'll just select each side and scale it down, and then just do one of these. There we go. Perfect plane. And what I'll do is I'll just bring this down a bit. Not that it matters, but just to have it looking some ways. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Right, so at 0 seconds, I want this plane to be over here. I'm going to set a keyframe for that in rotation and location. Location, rotation. So that it's fixed there. And then at, let's say, 80, I'm going to bring it to the center. Now, I hope you're not expecting some sort of big trick here, because I'm just going to add a circle there. Put it like that. Do this. Now, the way I'd done this morning, just practicing, was I traced it. I said, okay, if at this point it's there, then let's say at 100, it's going to be at the quarter point, and rotate it 90 degrees, and then save that, and then you're going to get it following the path. And when you do all four, it'll kind of balance it out so that it's a nice smooth curve. But we could try at this point just parenting it to that. Does it still fly before? It does. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And then let's say here, I want this to have done a 180 degree turn, or 360. Save that rotation. Does that work? Okay. Okay. Bring it to path. Yeah, okay, you can... The way I did it this morning, which just the quick way, I guess, to a path. I guess you could do it with like a curve and just have it going along the curve. But we'll just do it for this way right now. Follow path is not an option. I guess as I would do this, it's more like I'm kind of making it up as I go along, and to decide what's going to happen for the whole animation from the start, for doing a path, I guess just it doesn't really fit my flow. So what is going on with that as well? I think. Right. Select this, delete this, and keyframe it there. Rotation, 180 degrees, or not 180 degrees, 360, and save. And then after that, that'll be its location. Right? Yes, that does work. Okay. Outmind, if you're watching this back, this is how I do a loop-de-loop. And then off again. Rotation. Location. There. Hide everything. From the start. It goes. Okay, wait. That did look a bit weird. Why did that stop so weirdly? Maybe I don't have this thing. Interpolation. Bezier. Instantly got to do the circle. Okay, there's probably some fine tuning that would need to be done, but it works like that, You know what? It really didn't do that this morning. Okay, I'm gonna redo this because I want to do it right. It's going to go to that point. Get rid of this stuff. I've done it manually, and this is how I would do it. You know, I could teach you a way I wouldn't do it, or teach you the way I would do it. So let's do this. We got it here. Let's jump forward 20 here. And I'd lift it up here to the quarter point. Turn it 90 degrees. There. Save that keyframe for location and rotation. I'd jump forward another 20. Bring it up here. Oh, turn it for location and rotation. Save that. And then one more 20 down here. Turn 90. Location, rotation. Down here. There. And then off screen then. And if the interpolation of all that is set to Bezier, that should be a lot smoother. Please. Yes, exactly. That's how I would do it. It's probably not the perfect, like someday I will learn the intricacies of Blender. But for now, this is enough for me because it looks fine. Loop the loop. And that's it. So maybe not the most in depth, but it absolutely it's serviceable. Right, the next thing I was going to go through is something I learned the other day, which is something very cool for me. Basically, what I was doing before, I'm going to turn off this music, with animation was open recent. Is there one called Christmas? I'm terrible at naming my my things. I just name them all on titles, so I need to go find it each time. Christmas, this one. Right, so this is the elf I made for Christmas animation for the next monthly. And I've made a shape key mouth. I'm just going to see if I left it as I did. Okay, I'm going to clear that. How do I clear that again? Delete channel. Very good. But it's still there. Why is it still there? Key? Okay, we'll worry about that in a second. Okay. I made this elf, and I made it so I did close his mouth a little bit more than last time, Berglamir. Remember you said that he looked like he was trying to catch a fish, or no, not catch a fish, that he was a fish struggling to breathe for air, because his mouth was like a little bit like that at all times. Like he's just, I don't know, trying to catch flies. So what I did is I learned a way for you to... Where is that audio sequencer? Okay, let's delete this because it's probably not copyright free. Yeah, and then back to this. How did I get rid of this last time? Oh yes, of course, because it's linked to the arm as well. Yep, okay. Right. So before, what I was doing is I was recording my voice in Audacity, and I'd bring it into another program where I could go frame for frame forward, and I'd say, okay, I'm making, my mouth is probably open when I'm saying hello. So then I frame by frame opened his mouth a little bit more and went, okay, hello, my name is whatever the whatever kind of thing, which took ages. Like the longest part of that Silvercrest animation was doing the voice sync, and really this isn't as good as I was doing it because it just takes any sound. So if you make like, I don't know, when I was practicing it, I accidentally, I guess, put my hand down on the table like that, and then it took that as a speech and opened it. So basically, it takes the audio, puts it as a graph, and then ties this to that graph. So the higher the volume goes, the higher this will go. And I was just going to share that with you today. So I think the first thing we do is this video sequencer, and we'll go to, what's going on? Oh yeah, go to 0. Add a sound. Am I blind? Sound. And we're going to go stream 2 and elf voice. So I recorded myself saying something. Okay, did you hear that? I don't know. Did that come through? Let's just make sure that everything is... That sounded like it came from my speakers here in the room. Anyway, so that's the audio thing. And we're going to bring it back to 0. We're going to go into the graph editor. Here, we're going to key. And we're going to... Oh, yes. We need to do a keyframe first. So just underneath it, have it set to 0 on the mouth movement. I to set a keyframe. And here's that graph. So right now, there's nothing happening. Key, bake sounds to curve. That's it. Here, and we want to use this sound. And that's it there. Right. So it'll start, so if, let's say if you wanted to have the sound later on in the animation, it'll start from wherever your little post is here. And maybe you can even move it. Maybe not. It'll go by where this is here. And then when you play, now there has to be a way of making that go up more. Why is that so small there? Basically, the graph is only going up as far as here, but I want it up as far as 1, and that's something I wasn't really... No, you can't hear it. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on there. Desktop audio. Properties. Give me a second. It's coming through the speakers. I'm tempted to just hold one of these speakers up to my ear, or to my microphone. Maybe like that. Let's get back to this. Right. So back here. Press N, use envelope modifier. Right. But where are the modifiers in this? Oh yes, modifiers. Envelope. Does what? You lift this? No. In graph editor, yeah. Am I in the graph editor? Or am I in the video sequencer? No, I'm in the graph editor. Yes, I'm there. Do I have to bring this up a bit? No. That was at -1. Restrict frame range. Bring that up? No. Out. At an endpoint, then go up to max. At an endpoint. Oh yeah. At a point. And bring this up to max? No. Should I be seeing this here going up, Kai-san? Or will it just be... This one? This one? This one? No. Restrict frame range. Selected. Saying that max value on top. Oh, right. This one? Oh, no, I see. Yes, this one. Bring that up to the maximum? You said up the max. But it's not making a difference to this over here. reference value? No, that was at 1, I think. Do that and then do this? This one? Not that one? Where your audio is at its max. And then that max value. Okay, wait. I'm going to exit out of that, and then I'm going to go back into it. Okay. So you said go to a point at which it's at its highest. And then up it? No. 1. 1. Add a point. Oh, right. Okay. No. Or maybe. Oh, yes. Dude, exactly. Exactly. Okay. For some reason, the audio isn't coming through the speakers, but I will just turn this up. And I'll turn that up. Jesus. And then from there. Okay, it's a little bit too high. But it does work. I see. Okay, no, but now that's there. I want the bottom value, the lower bound, to be here. Yes. And then that to be just 1. Kaisan, this is exactly what I was trying to figure out the other night. I was trying to compensate by just recording myself shouting louder and upping it in Audacity as well, but no, this is exactly it. So back to the start. It's a pity the audio isn't coming through there, but...
Hello and welcome. Merry Christmas to everyone.
Okay, again, it's not perfect, but Jesus, it beats like frame for frame moving the mouth. You know, what I do is I just record the whole animation in one audio track kind of thing, put it in, and then just let it just do this again. But what happens if I put it up for more than... It'll just peak, I guess, if I do this to bring the smaller ones up. Okay, that kind of works as well. Much better. Yeah, definitely. Jeez, Kaisan. I'm going to turn this stream over to Kaisan from now on because he's completely got it. Right. This is the... how many bones? No bones. Right. Block. This is it. This is shape keys. So this is one thing I meant to do last week, but I didn't do. Where the hell did that just go? Okay. Let's bring it over here. Big surface, okay? Shape keys are super easy, and this exact example of it I meant to do last week, and I didn't. Ball and the ground. I'll just put in this so I can see the ground a bit easier. Right. Add a shape key for its current shape. Add another shape key and call it squashed or whatever. I'm just going to go to the timeline because I don't need this thing. Okay. So at 0 time, or let's do the shape key first. So go into edit mode while this is selected, and we're going to make it a little bit wider and a lot flatter, like that. And when you tab back out, it goes out because this here, like what I was doing with the mouth movement before, is set to 0. We go up and it flattens out. And you can keyframe these, and I'm going to show you that now. So the ball gets dropped. We're just worrying about location. So why is that up so much? Okay. And maybe that's too long for ball to fall. Let's make it 60. So at 30, the ball is going to be in the ground a little bit. That'll actually depend on this one, I think. But we'll put it there anyway. I location, and then we'll copy these ones, Shift D to the end, which means it's going to go down and up. Oh, the audio is playing. That's weird. Okay. Now, at this point, this is going to be a perfectly round ball. So we're going to keyframe that there. At around here, it's going to hit the ground, let's say before it does there. It's still going to be a perfectly round ball there. I on that. At this point, it's going to be squashed. We keyframe that. And then about there, I'd say, or maybe a little bit more, it's going to be a full ball again, pretty much. Yeah. And that's it. So the ball falls and squashes, and the little elf voice says hello in my speaker. This is keyframes. This is what I meant to Sergey's here. Sergey, you're 41 minutes late. What the hell? No. So that's the basics of keyframing. This should have been the first lesson, like I just said. But anyway, we can delete that, and so that's what I'm doing here. This has no bones at all. It will do for its arms and stuff, because really with that you need a skeleton. But for the for just kind of small movements like that, like a key, I done a shape key for his mouth, open, closed, or the other end, blinking, and I'm actually moving the geometry down around his eyes, so your eyes are still in there. And then his arm, just a little wave, but really I would not be doing the arm at all. How do I even delete one of these things? Oh, just minus it. Yeah. Right, so what I might do is I'm just going to I'm gonna, what's it called? I'm gonna armature this guy right now because I need to do it for the animation. Today is the 29th of November, and I think the winter animation is due on the 29th of December. So I've got 1 month as of today. Ultimator has already helped me out with some of the trees, and if anybody else does want to help, I'm making a little list on my whiteboard of props that I'm going to need for the animation. It's going to be pretty simple, but I think I'm just going to try and learn from what I did last time. Really, like doing this kind of stuff just makes it a million times easier. Anyway, I'm going to add a armature, edit mode, grab it, bring it back, and just do this. Okay, right, so one there. Now, if you want his back to curve a bit, you know, if someone bends over, they don't turn at a perfect. Yes, Burglamir's still waiting for the list. Okay, how's about this? At the end of the stream, we'll make a list. Make list. I'll talk through what the idea of the animation is going to be, and then we'll make a list. Right. So that we're going to take this off to his shoulder, this down to the middle of his arm, and this down to his sleeve. Same on the other side. One here, one about there, and one here. Now for the hand, usually I'll take one off for the thumb, one there, and then the same with the fingers, really. If he wants to be able to grab things, he needs those two joints on the finger. And over here, the same. It's a pity, there probably is a mirror tool for this. Maybe even you can just use the mirror modifier, I don't know. It doesn't seem to be there. But 1, 2. I can provide a W with the Warhammer thing. WH4OK. Bolter immediately. If maybe if you decimate it down to like 10 vertices, it'll fit perfectly in low poly, but it's a bit much for this. But maybe Santa, like he needs protection on the sleigh. And a chainsword. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, just decimate the shit out of them and send them on, definitely. And I'll do two of these down here, like that. So he's fucking curve. Right, so that's the skeleton inside the thing. Select the object, shift click the skeleton, control P, automatic weights. Yes, sometimes that doesn't work if there's too many vertices, but it did there. Right, where are we going? Pose mode. Just to test it, really. You can wave. Really, it's best when you're doing this stuff to have him in this kind of position, because if his arms are too close to here, the bone, or when you're parenting it, the bone won't know where the arm ends, so it might grab onto some of this as well. So when you lift up, it'll be grabbing a lot more than that. It's kind of fine for it to grab that much. It kind of makes it a bit more realistic, as if he's the materials are pulling a little bit. His head there. This really doesn't need to be here, but I guess if he wants to. How does that look? Yeah. Yeah, there goes Santa Claus. Yeah, okay, or even like that. Oh, and even when this is in effect, the where are we? We get out pose mode. These still work somehow. Yeah, we can just close these eyes a little bit. Oh my god. Okay. Also, if you want to change geometry after you've parented it to the thing, you do need to. This goblin reminds me of a bit of Rimmer, the Rimmer experience. You can mirror it, says Sergey. Okay, I have to look into that. So you have to name bones with L and an R at the end, and then click symmetry. Oh, okay. I mean, it's not that much work, but if you're doing something a lot more complicated, like I was thinking of, I'll show it to you. Here, we'll get rid of the elf and open this stuff. Where is it? Okay. So what I was going to do, oh no, there's one missing. Slay? What's going on? There are only half of them here. They should all be in, oh yeah, okay, in Slay. Objects? No. This one? No. Oh yeah, these are the trees. And some candy canes as well. This place here is going to be for the for like a village, like a North Pole kind of village. I imagine. Here's what I'm imagining. Can I do Alt Enter? No, Alt H. No, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on with this. Okay. Slaying reindeer. On. Yeah, now they're back. Okay, maybe they must be in here. Okay, there's something weird going on. But what's going on here? Am I on the elf? I am on the elf. I'm looking through the camera. Oh, yes. This one. Okay. So, this is the idea. Santa's here. He's going to take off. And here, in front of him, will be like a billion elves. Okay, already all like super excited for him to be going off and doing his yearly mission. Does the whole thing go? A little bit more. There we go. And I forget who said it, but someone said, "Why does Rudolph have the headlight in his mouth?" But no, it's his shiny red nose, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So yeah, okay. So what I need is, I guess, the one elf, the that I've already made, I might just change him around, make him a bit thinner, he's a thin elf, make him fat, he's a fat elf, and just put a whole load of those kind of variations around here in the audience. One elf in the back will be that elf, and he will be a sadder, more kind of done with Christmas kind of elf. And everyone's super happy and cheering him off, and this elf is kind of like, kind of fuck Christmas a little bit. Santa flies off, everyone goes inside. The elf is sitting by one of the little houses. So what we need is, we need a Christmas village, you know. This is the list, Berglemere. Christmas village. We need a toy, or like a parcel, a package. So Santa is flying over the village, you know, about to go around the world, and a package falls out of his sleigh, falls down and lands on the ground right beside this sad elf. He looks at it and goes, "Oh shit, some kid isn't gonna get his package this year." So, and he has got a little dog as well, so maybe a little dog. All in kind of low poly-ish as well. I know some of this isn't perfectly low poly, but it's all kind of close enough. So he and the dog need to get this present to the kid that that owns it. But he's not really into Christmas. He's kind of like a bit of a grumpy kind of piece of shit, this elf. So he goes to like the I don't know, the Christmas lab there. So maybe like a little science room. Science room will need to be made, and gets like a little thingy of fairy dust, like a you know, a vial or like a little jar of fairy dust. This fairy dust helps the reindeers fly, and he sprinkles it on the dog because he needs to get this package to where it needs to go. So he puts it on the dog, and they fly off to deliver this present. On the way, a blizzard starts in the air. Okay, I've thought a lot about this, so if you get bored, just put on some music or something for a while. Jar of dust. They're flying through the sky. Big blizzard, so they say, right, it's safer if we fly close to the surface. They go down and they see a man struggling in the snow to get home to his family, say. So the kids, or the elf is like, oh, I have an idea. I'll give you the headlight from the dog's headlamp. Okay, the dog is a headlamp. We'll write that down. Head, like a head torch thing. Okay. So he gives that light to the man. So now that man can get home. Perfect. So he's having a good night. Then now they have to kind of stick to the ground, I guess. So now they're walking along, and they get to the town square of where they're kind of meant to be. And there's a man who's putting up Christmas lights and a tree and stuff, and it's not working. And he's like, "Oh shit, I'm missing the screwdriver or hammer or whatever to make this work." So then, screwdriver or hammer? Yes. So then the elf's like, "Oh shit, I've got a hammer or a screwdriver or whatever tool. Here you go. You can use it." So now this man is tinkering, and now he's gonna get the lights on, which is gonna like bring Christmas to this town, and he's gonna be able to go home to his family as well. Third thing, they're lost again, kind of trying to find the exact house where this toy is meant to go. They get to, or they find this homeless man on the ground, a low poly, sad, bearded man on the ground. And they're like, "Hey, we're looking for the whatever house, the Kaisan house. We're looking for the Kaisan house to deliver this toy." And he said, "Oh, it's up the street, around the corner, and a big house on the right. You can't miss it," kind of thing. And they're like, "Oh, geez, thanks, mister." And they're about to walk away, and then he's like, "Oh, why are you on the ground? Blah blah." He had bad luck. I don't know. It's going to be like a kind of kids focused thing, so not too much. But basically, his biggest problem is that he is alone. He's alone. He has no one to spend Christmas with. Even though he's on the ground, he'd rather just have somebody than a house. So then the dog runs over to the homeless man and kind of like cuddles into him, and the homeless man's like laughing, and he's like, "Oh fuck, just like old Scruffles, just like my old dog Scruffles that I used to have when I was a kid." And then I'm not getting presents for Christmas. Yeah, no, you are. It's on the way though. This is gonna be it. It's gonna be right in time for Christmas. So so then the dog stays with the thing, with the man to make him happy, and the kid's like, "Oh, okay," or the elf's like, "Great, okay, at least you're happy, whatever." So then the elf goes to the house, and Santa's already in the house. It's his last house. Santa opens his bag and goes, "Oh, f word." There's no more presents, and there's one kid, little Kaisan in Poland, um, that doesn't have his Zapikanka for Christmas. This is terrible. Knock knock on the front door. Santa opens it, and it's the elf with the package. Santa, you forgot this. He gives it to him, puts it in the stocking. It's great. They and Santa gives some shit speech about Christmas. They go like, "Oh, let's get you back to the North Pole," and they hop in they sleigh and they're flying, and the elf's like feeling like a little bit yeah, the F word, yeah, sorry, block, maybe I meant like flip, like, "Oh, flip," that F word. Um, so they're flying, and the elf still looks like a little bit upset because he hasn't really got his Christmas spirit yet. And Santa's like, "Oh, what's wrong?" And so that after all this story, I will not make an entry of my own. Okay, no, 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 please, because this all sounds good when I'm presenting it, but it might look like whatever. Anyway, they're flying over back to the North Pole. The elf looks sad. Santa goes, "Oh, what's wrong?" And the kid's like, "Oh, I'm just not like a great elf. I wish I had like good Christmas abilities like you do, Santa Claus." And he goes, "Kid, what the fuck are you talking about? Look down there." And he points down, and there's like a happy homeless man with the dog. And then he goes, "And there," and then we see like the square all lit up for Christmas, and the man who's messing with the lights all happy. And then the third one, then we see the guy who was stuck in the blizzard. Now he's in his living room with his family eating food, and it's all like all happy Christmas. And he's like, "Look, you did do this. You don't have to be happy. You just have to kind of, well, be happy, but you just have to have the right attitude for Christmas. And you obviously have it. You've helped these people. These people are going to have a great Christmas. Not just Kaisan, but the homeless guy." Okay. Okay. Maybe, okay, I won't use the F word. When I'm writing this, it'll be a lot more, not kids orientated, but kind of family. Anyway, then they're flying, and he goes, "Oh, I guess I am the fucking best elf," kind of thing. Then they fly off and into the sunrise over the morning, and that's it. And maybe I'll write a Christmas song, like just the guitar. I don't know. But maybe I will just make yours shine more. My Christmas present to you. Okay, thank you, Berkeley. And then at the very end, the evil warlocks show up, and Santa takes out his WHK 40, or his chainsaw blade, and wipes them all out. And there's a big explosion, and that's it. And I think spoilers. I guess the few of you that are watching now know how it's going to end, but you don't know how it's going to look. So that's it. I will make a list if anybody does want to help. Really, a lot of the work is in the animation, and I do like doing that. I want to do that, but I do like that. But the props, like making little kind of houses, making that town square, making like the living room with the fireplace, and the thing. I already have Santa made. He's there, and the elf, the dog. I have a little list here, and I'll refine it and put it in the group. And if you want to help, you will absolutely get credited at the end, um, and we will all win the monthly together. In one foul swoop, everybody wins. Um, Question from block creations. If you have a lot of animations going on at the same time, how do you manage these? Is there a master sheet? No. At the same time, no. I guess. Um, hmm. How do I do it? How the professional me? How do I do it? I don't know. Just not very well, I guess. What we can do is we can take a look at. This is something I was going to do last week at Silvercrest. I'm not sure if I still have it here. This spaceship. Yeah. Silvercrest? This one? Not that. Um, like you can see all the channels. Like you can see all the channels. I guess I deal with one thing at a time. You know, I I guess the first thing I'll do is make everything. The second thing I'll do is I'll just have the characters as objects moving. No walking animations, no nothing. Just have everything going where it needs to be. And as you go on, just getting more specific with everything. So then I'd add the walking animations. So instead of them just floating from A to B, they start walking. Then I add the finer stuff, the blinks, and maybe like the one thing that I might do is, as a character is even just standing still, they're not perfectly still. They breathe and their chest goes up, and kind of small things like um that kind of show. Or even with these reindeers, okay, all of these legs are in sync, like the front and back legs are kind of working together, but these Rudolph at the front I've done differently, and you can kind of see that. But the first thing I did was I made it all, parented it to the sleigh, and so that I can grab the sleigh and just animate the sleigh. Position at 0 seconds, position at 5 seconds, position at 10 seconds, and he's gone. And then I got the armature and just individually um, keyframe the movements of the legs. Let me think. I'm going to just go ahead and show you Silvercrest and just maybe just talk through it a little bit. Where are we? This one. Not that I know any kind of secrets, or I just enjoy doing this. When I was in school, I was good at like technical drawing and things like that, and my family business is building playgrounds, so it's kind of all having a good idea for 3D space is was something I was good at and enjoyed. And then when I wanted to do this in college, I was like, right, animation. This was 8 years ago. Animation is what I want to do. And then my dad says, no, not his fault at all, but I guess he just wanted to future proof me. Said, oh no, that's too specific. In case you don't get something, do something more general. Do computer science. I did software development, and then I did it, and I just fucking hated it. And just, yes, I learned stuff, but it's not really it's not my kind of thing at all. So now, finally, at the end of the road, I'm getting back to animation. Okay, the Silvercrest. Are you seeing that on your thing? Yes. Can I full screen that and you still see it?
Silvercrest.
Okay, let's turn off the audio. Right. I'm just going to jump through this and I'll just talk about how I did it, and then you will know already everything that I know about animation. This is a big planet spinning with keyframes. This is a ship I made moving with keyframe, just location, and that's it. It's going along a bit of a curve because that's the way Blender works. For the sounds, what I did was I planned to do them all myself, but then social anxiety took hold. So I found a website that just speech to text. So I was going to just have that as a placeholder, and then afterwards I was going to do the voices.
One of our best frogs and myself are
All
being
just
down
camera keyframing, and this this fading thing here. It's not is anyone typing? No. That sorry, I jumped out of it. This isn't within Blender. I just did this in Photoshop. I rendered one frame of them there, and then one frame of them not there, and just transitioned between them in my video editing thing. Then the intro sequence was something I made in the first week. It's all just, it's fairly straightforward. Always render in Eevee. I think, like maybe 10 seconds of this would only take maybe 20 minutes to render with Eevee, or maybe even a bit shorter. This here was something I tried to get right for a while. The beam, it's just a tube of a cylinder stretched out with the shape key, and then just parented to the ship as it goes away, and it gets a little bit longer and then a little bit shorter. Here you can see some clipping. It's only something that I noticed afterwards, and I think for the standard that I was trying to keep myself to, it was fine. It kind of looks like it's going a bit faster, and it's like the heat shield thing, but this is just a big image texture that it just goes behind. You can even still see it a little bit here. It's just hiding. Same again. This was just a big, just the same rock over and over again as a particle system on a tube, on a torus on the outside. And then I just deleted the torus afterwards and done a keyframes of the rotation of the whole thing spinning. And I think every week I do this, it's all clipping as well. Every week that I do this, I learn something a little bit more of how I would do it better. So I think if I was to redo this, I'd have a way better idea of how to do it. This here, this effect, I just made a whole lot of physical stars out of spheres, and then I just stretched them along that axis, the x-axis, so they're kind of turned into stretched spheres. This, that, just some node-based material. This is actually from the original Star Trek. I think it's from the first episode, kind of similar to the storyline of this a little bit, but they beam down right beside something that looks like this. So I snipping tooled it from the screen and then brought it in and used it as a material for the still better than Star Trek Discovery. Yeah, you know what? I don't know. I think this season, if you've been watching this season of Star Trek Discovery, they've jumped to the future, to the year 3000 and whatever. And I like it. It's like, I don't know, I didn't like the last season. It's all a little bit like, like the way Warner Brothers think it's good to just remove the color palette from Superman and think it's more real world, whatever. It's the same thing with that. It's just all a little bit flavorless, and it doesn't have that kind of magic that Star Trek has for me. But now I think it feels like it's turning. They're in the future, and it actually is Discovery. They're discovering new shit. Back to this. Oh wait, am I not supposed to show you something here? No, it's fine. Again, this is just a fade in the program that I was using. This is my voice. The only one I managed to do. There are live readings coming from that temple over there, Captain. Now, I said Caption because the speech to text or text to speech program that I use to do their voices first, you can set it so that it's French, so that it's a French guy that says it, and then if you put in English, he's just going to say it weird. So he said Caption, Captain, Caption. And then when I copied it, for some shit reason, I said Caption as well. So he says, over live greetings coming from over there, Caption. Caption. Captain. And she glides out. Now, this is something between that bit and this bit, the bit of Garçon talking and her, that's when I learned about shape keys. So when Garçon speaks here, that's using armature. You know, I put a skeleton coming, or an armature bone, to the bottom of his chin and the top of his mouth, and then I just moved them to make him talk, which still works fine. It's even moving his neck a little bit as well, so it looks a little bit better. And then I learned how to use the shape keys.
Hello, Captain.
But obviously I didn't learn how to use them perfectly.
Everything okay, Doctor?
Because her top mouth is kind of moving as well. Oh no, there I learned how to do it right.
Let's get her to the med bay. Sprague.
And again, this is frame for frame, like open, close, open, close on each syllable of each word. This thing that I've learned with the elf is going to make this a million times easier.
Retrieve her things and follow us up to the ship.
Yes, Captain.
Now, for some reason, when I'd done the Sprague, his antennae are always locked in a certain direction. So sometimes at this one point, I think JB even highlighted it, when he turns his head 90 degrees, these don't move at all.
Yes, Captain.
And I like that. I like the way she moves in the background. I thought that was funny.
Yes, Captain.
Like she's going to attack them. And they beam up. And this is all done in Photoshop here, just like the little things. And then, uh-oh, it's something else.
Hum.
Hum, he says.
Come in, Silver Crest.
Right, so the first half of that sentence has a filter on it, and there's actually a I might even show you at some point. In Audacity, you can put a filter on so it sounds like it's coming over the radio.
Come in, Silver Crest.
And there you can see that it's not moving at all.
Yes. What is it, Sprague?
There appears to be a signs of a struggle.
There appears to be signs of a struggle down here. I will investigate further.
Garçon.
The voice thing does not work very well there.
She should be in her quarters, Captain.
She should be in her quarters. Yeah, that's great there. Look, the hand movement. Beep, beep. Clicks. That's fine. Clicks. Oh,
Oh, man.
uh-oh. Uh-oh. And he does this pose. I was trying to like when Shaggy and Scooby-Doo like see something, I don't know what it is. I was trying to get that position, and I went looking for Shaggy doing like a pose, like Zoinks kind of thing, and I could not find it. So this is my approximation of Shaggy's reaction to some guy in a costume that he has to figure out who it is again.
The atomizer room, Captain.
The atomizer room. This here, what we're seeing on his body, is just. I googled bruise PNG. I downloaded it. I used that as a hair particle system on this, and that's how I got that effect.
He's dead, Captain.
He's dead.
Yes.
Captain, you must come to the surface immediately. You won't believe this.
Right, this bit here, I think he's going to turn his head, and these aren't going to turn. Yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna say it's actually. I know it may look like I'd done the animation wrong, but actually it's a signature of the species that his antennae will always be pointing
Yeah,
north.
Captain.
Yeah, and the same here, just a particle system of an image on a plane. I thought that was funny at the
If
time.
Doctor, this is here then whomever we beamed to the ship is an infestor, most likely a shapeshifter.
I should have added subtitles there.
Garçon. 2 to atomize.
We, Captain.
Oh, and have
He says
all
we,
of
Captain,
you
a lot.
meet me on the bridge.
I like this. I like that angle. So, I'll talk about the end, but episode 2 of Silvercrest was going to be
Creature.
Well, Garçon.
same of the
we
kind
may
of
not
same
know
of the
the
same
creature,
stuff,
but
really.
We do know the Sprague race. Sprague.
Neil. Which in hindsight maybe is a bit weird that like he has this slave race working from on his ship and he whips out his gun in slow-mo, I guess. And then he turns back into the monster that he was. That makes a weird pig noise. And that's it. Well done, Captain.
Well done, Captain.
Yeah.
Silvercrest, space date 69420b. We have disposed of the creature's body in outer space. Its desire to live has left many dead, I am sure. One can only hope that we do not stumble across such a heinous creature again.
Where to next, Captain?
That way, Garcon.
And as you can see as well, which I should have done was, I think I did it in some bits where I put like a semi-sphere inside of their mouth and colored it black. So when they open their mouth, you can see darkness inside and not like the inside of his beard for some reason.
That way,
Yeah.
Garcon.
Dun 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 dun. That's it. That's a Silvercrest. Massive impressive, but once in a while a car just stand in a pose that makes me believe that they had a trouser accident. Yeah, it's the what's he called? Sprague. You didn't catch that 69-420. Yes, you see that was something that I thought was funny. 69-420, obviously hilarious. But then for the next episode, what it's going to be Stardate or Space Date 69-421. I might actually let's see. Scripts. Okay, I'm not going to make another episode of the Silvercrest. It's a lot of work, and I'm not learning anything if I'm just doing the same thing again. So what we can do is, we can just go through the script of the second one. I wrote out the whole thing. I had it all ready to go. And I'll show you what I'd done for it, so at least it won't have gone to waste. I'll just do it like a little bit of time. It was called Flower Power. It was for last month's monthly challenge. Nature was the theme. Flower Power. Episode 2, Flower Power. The ship is in orbit around the Earth. The captain will say. I was actually going to try to do all the voice for this as well. Yeah, here we go. Silvercrest, space date 69-421. We are in orbit around my home planet, Earth, awaiting a special mission from Space Fleet. Not Starfleet. Space Fleet. Okay, can I just click down like this? Yes. Okay. We cut to the bridge. The captain's tapping his chin. Garcon. Captain, we have an incoming transmission from Admiral Dutch. I say put it on hologram. A hologram appears on the head of the bridge. Floating head of Admiral Dutch, voiced by J.B. Blender. This was going to happen. And he says, Captain Bridgeway, how are things? It's my J.B. Blender. I go to speak, and then he says, oh, that's great. Your mission is as follows. We are sending a special plant to your ship as I speak. Oh, he's gone French. I'll just do it in my regular voice. It's called a Genesis plant, and it is to be delivered to planet N64. Understand? Captain starts to speak. Hovering noise in the background. Basically, it's like the Admiral Dutch is working from home, and his mom's like being annoying with the Hoover in the background, and he's like, Mom, I'm in a call, and she's like, what? And he's like, oh, sugar. He's like, I'm in a call, Mom. And she's like, oh, okay, blah blah. Turns her off. Tell your friends I said hi. He screams, Mom. So JB was going to voice just that stuff. And then my GPU exploded, and we just kind of... Oh, wait, is that it? Okay. Anyway, this plant is vital to the inhabitants' survival. Make sure to keep it in a quiet and dry place. Quiet and dry. Remember that. Quiet and dry place. Starts to speak. The call drops. Garcon, set a course for the Atari system. That's where we need to go. Okie dokie, sir. I don't know. Maybe that was funny. The intro sequence plays. After that, the flower on desk in conference room. Zooming out, we see the three of them looking at this flower. Now I even made the flower. Episode 2 output. Where was it? Oh, here it is. This is the flower. He's like a little kind of living eyeball stalk in a plant. So that's what they're looking at in the conference room. And I'll start skipping forward a little bit. So this is our mission. So much power in such a small guy. And then yes, this is when instead of because I didn't want all the voices to be speech text, so I said or text speech. So I said Sprague would no longer be a little Japanese man. He would be a Scottish man because I feel like if I'd done a Scottish accent, that it mightn't be as racist as a Japanese accent. So it'd be like, oh, the wee guy looks like my cousin, because like Sprague is like a kind of plant gooey man, I guess. Let's get to work, gentlemen. He says a whole lot of stuff happens. Wait. Yes, so then we see another Sprague, not the main one, just some working kind of droid, going down the ship, watering the plants. And as he passes the conference room, the door opens. He turns to see the big-eyed plant on the table, looking a bit sick. So this plant that I showed you is kind of falling over, and its eyes on the ground, and it's kind of like, its eyes are kind of like almost closed and looking like it's gonna die. He rushes in, waters it, and it returns to its vertical position. Cool, he's happy. He then smiles and leaves the room. The plant yawns as if it's just woken up. The tendrils begin to grow and grow with an evil smile appears in its eye, on its eye. Because you're meant to keep it quiet and dry. So this is what happens if it gets, if it's not dry. It reaches up into the vent entrance, snaking inside. Uh-oh. So now cut to the bridge. We are entering the Atari system now, Captain. Very good. Could you prepare? And then incoming communication noise. We have a communication incoming from the engine room. Put it on screen. A Sprague is talking to the camera in the engine room, like on a little video monitor. We're seeing the Sprague in the engine room. There's another one in the background being hung by a tendril of this plant, and the whole engine room is covered in plants, as it says. Engine Sprague says, I'm not sure if this one's Scottish as well. Maybe they can all be. It says, it's growing all over, Captain. Is that right? Yeah, it's growing all over, Captain. I'm not sure how much longer the ship can take it. We're on it, engineer. Bridge way out. Call drops, evil music, like da-na-na, and then fades to black. Another thingy, Silvercrest Space State 69421B. We're on our way to the planet N64 when our ship was attacked by the subject of the mission itself. We need to figure out a solution before it's too late. He's tapping his chin, and Garcon then tapping his chin. He says, "Thoughts, Garcon? Maybe if we cut the head off the plant, the vines will die." And then he says, "Oh, but then the people of N64 will die. There has to be another way." Cut to a female Sprague. The first time we ever would have saw a female Sprague in her quarters, and she's reading a book or something. Reading a book. View from the floor, so we see kind of from the floor point of view. Need a baddie with the German accent. Yes, actually, I do have a bad for one of the next episodes. A cliffhanger episode was going to be a bad guy gets control of the ship, so maybe he could have been a German man. Oh yes, Captain Pridgeway. Your ship is now mine, and your crew will be killed, or something like that. But I don't know. Maybe someday I'll come back to it all. We see the kind of tendril go along the ground. It rises up to attack her. She screams. She kind of turns her head to the side and kind of eyes closed, hands out, screaming like the classical kind of screaming position. And her eyes open and she goes, "Oh wait, it's gone." And she thinks, what the hell happened there? So we cut to the engine room, blah, blah, blah. The engines are... we need to do something fast. "Damn it, Captain, there has to be something." And then, "Captain, it may be time to abandon ship." And then send the text, I'll do the voice, okay. incoming transition sound. Captain, I was almost attacked by one of the vines, says the female Sprog. Well done getting away. That's the thing. It just left me when I screamed. And then Garcon, the captain, the admiral did say that the plant was sensitive to sound. That's it. That's the answer. But how do we amplify sound enough to subdue the plant? And then Garcon, have Robot bring me my guitar to the bridge. This was going to be some wacky, zany, like, hey guys, I'm the robot of the ship. I don't know. We Captain. Again, we Captain. Robot shows up with the guitar. Here you go, Captain. I guess, like, here you go, Captain Kenneth Ridgway. Something. Thank you, Robot. We see the auxiliary connect into one of the consoles. The other goes into the guitar. Turn it up to 11, Sprog. And then he plays the guitar really loud. The engine room, all the vines shriek and retreat, so it's working. They're sensitive to sound. The plant is shaking crazy, blah de blah, and retreats back to the plant. You did it, Captain. All the plants have retreated to the source. Great. Now let's get this done. Bite my shiny metal ass, says the robot. Ship arrives on the planet. Nice guitar music playing. I've made up a bit, and maybe I'll play it in a second. Nice guitar music plays. Captain meets the locals and hands over the plant. We see the locals wave, helmets off, and the planet. As the captain blah blah focus on the plant. A local waters it, and the plant's like it's going to terraform the planet pretty much. The captain gives some speech and it warps away. I think I even have yes. So this is what I imagine the planet regrowing looking like. This kind of like effect, except on the whole planet and trees and blah de blah. And I'll grab my guitar. 1 second. And Kai-san can do a Russian accent. Okay. If you want to and you're happy to, I'm gonna get you to voice. So in that animation, the Christmas one I'm doing this month, I need someone. I could and would do them all myself, but obviously collaboration is key. I need someone to voice the guy stuck in the blizzard, the guy stuck in the what was the other guy? Oh, the guy with the Christmas lights. And maybe I'll do the homeless one myself. I don't know. If anybody wants to, please, absolutely do. The music as the planet is what's the word? Terraforming would kind of be like except whenever I make mistakes, I usually just edit them out with Audacity or get like one perfect loop of that and then just play it over and over again. And then I don't have to think about it. So that would have been it. So in a way, it kind of did happen. It's almost like a radio play. It all just happened. This guitar is going to fall no matter what position I put it in. But anyway, I think that could be it for today. I'm just going to take a look at my list of things that I plan to do. Where's my pencil? Audio to movement, done. Turnaround, how to do a turnaround, done. Bouncing ball, done. Let me see. Loop to loop, changing materials, and make a list. You know the animation now. So, if you do want to help with anything in particular, I welcome it. I have a month to do it. I can do it all myself if nobody is up for it. But anyway, let's switch this back to Blender. There we go. Can I zoom in? N, turn off lock camera to view, and zoom in. There we go. This is just like a practice kind of thing. I might redo this, and obviously with the elves and stuff there as well, they'll have to be cheering and jumping and smiling and laughing, and holy mug, that kind of seems like a lot of work, but it's going to be fun. Right, that is it for today. That is the stream for today. I think I've kind of covered everything I wanted to, and that's it. So hopefully you either enjoyed, learned, or it was yes, Kaisan, yeah, absolutely, yeah. What I'll do is, look, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a list. I'm going to make a new channel in that Blender group. I'll call it props. And what I'll do is I'll make a list of all the props. Each one has a message themselves. And if you want to take one to do, just like emoji it, you know, like react to it with a, I don't know, pick an emoji for yourself, say, you know, the pencil, and then and react to each message that you've done. Okay, thank you. You're thanking me in the chat. Kai-san, thanks for the help with the graphs. I really would not have been able to figure that out. Berglamir, thank you for giving me content for the stream, and Sergey, thank you for being there for me in the times when I've needed you most. I hope you've enjoyed yourself, and I might, hopefully, if I can think of something, see you next week. Goodbye.